Another week, another trading cycles video. It's week 11, 2024. My name is Urmas and I'm here to give you an overview of what was happening last week and what to expect this coming week now. Before we do, you are free to smash that like button as well if you like the work that I do and content I provide. Also, you can subscribe so you won't miss any future episodes either. And I do need to remind you that the content is provided purely for educational purposes only, and you need to do your own due diligence before making any decisions, and always trade the price and not the prediction. So what was happening last week then? We did see some declines, we did some very successful stock movements. One of the winners I noticed was Supermicro, still in news and heading higher as it is now part of the S&P 500. Tesla was one to lose quite a lot, as we did expect, and that went according to the plan. Now, what else happened last week? So, some of the companies that also came up with earnings were, for example, Broadcom, Costco and DocuSign. The results were quite mixed. Costco was one of the biggest decliners, to be honest, that I noticed. And also we had Fed Chair Jeremy Powell talking a couple of times this past week. And what we have noticed, he has changed his tone quite a bit now, yeah? And so basically, he is still obviously pointing that we need to get sustainable 2% inflation, but what he has noted is that we are not far from it. Okay, well, that's quite positive from his side. So what to expect then? I do suspect that this month, when the next Fed meeting is going to take place on the 19th and 20th, we won't see any interest drops there, but we should be moving according to the plan. So possibly not in May either, but in June we should have the first cut there. Yeah. So that's obviously a good sign. Now, job reports came out as well, and that was a bit mixed, to be honest. Yeah. So we did see quite many jobs created, obviously more than it was expected, but on the other hand, unemployment rate went up as well. So these things are a bit mixed as well, and obviously it's something we have noticed that obviously not everything is normal nowadays, and we do need to bear in mind that it is an election year as well, so Fed is also obviously following those numbers, but they not might be the exact numbers obviously to follow, so a bit of grain of salt there with this data. Okay, and one more thing that is quite interesting to follow is that US Worker Adjustment and Retaining Notification Act is something that obviously requires companies with 100 more employees to provide notification 60 calendar days in advance of planned closing or mass layoffs. So what we have seen now for the past couple of years, that index has gone up quite a bit, and on the other hand, the unemployment rate is staying on lowest levels in history. So basically, these signs are very mixed, and we do see quite a bit of layoffs, especially in the technology sector. It's been quite noticeable, but on the other sectors as well. Yeah? So something to follow a bit closer and see if there are some discrepancies to obviously be aware of. Yeah? Now, recession itself on earnings calls haven't been mentioned that much anymore, so obviously that's a positive sign. So it's been in decline since Q2 22. That was the height of recession to be mentioned, but yeah, now it's been very low, and this recent earnings season it's been only 47 so far mentioned. And sector-wise, if we look at that, then financial sector has been mentioning the most of the word recession. Also industrials and materials, and also real estate. Yeah, so that's something we have seen on these indices as well. So they are not really doing that great. What we also saw last week, Meta services were down on Tuesday, and there was an issue globally, I believe, where people were locked out of their services and they couldn't log in for quite some time. It didn't involve Facebook Messenger and also Instagram and WhatsApp. So that's one of the biggest outages I can remember. I think in recent past, maybe Google was one of them that had a major outage. But obviously that happened to be on the Super Tuesday as well, where the election events took place. Maybe it was related, maybe not. Okay, but something suspicious there was. Yeah. Well, Lamborghinis seem to be sold out. Well, that's what I heard at least. I haven't been shopping myself, but so it might be something to do with crypto. Crypto obviously success lately, but if it is so, then you have to wait until 2026 to get your new shiny car, but you should put your order in quite soon then. If it's a good idea, I don't know, but honestly, it's not an advice. Apple on another side is obviously not something that people are looking to buy at all. I'm not talking about Apple products, but Apple stock. So it's not been in favor for quite many months now, and it seems to be on good sale already. So it's on quite heavy oversold level already. But as it seems to be on stock markets, nobody wants to buy when stocks are on sale, and they are rushing to buy when the prices are highest. So, well, maybe it's something to look into, but obviously timing has to be right as well. So we'll keep an eye on Apple stock. As Friday we did see quite heavy move to the upside as well. We'll see if it's going to be a turning point or is there some more downside movement. The resistance is a bit lower at the moment. Yeah. Now, what happened actually on US markets, S&P 500 1 hourly chart is here, and we did see a decline of prices until Tuesday, and then the market started turning around. And Thursday, Friday were quite positive. Friday afternoon again a bit negative. 50-day moving average is above 50s again. Yeah, so market is obviously pointing to the positive side again, and same goes for 200-day moving average for S&P. So it's closed now on its highest levels this year or this past year. Yeah, so basically the signs are very bullish. So more than 76% of companies within S&P 500 are now closed above their 200-day moving average. So at some point, obviously, we will see a correction, but cyclically, as we suspected, that 17-week cycle didn't get us too low. Obviously, there has been some declines, but not too much. So we'll keep an eye on if it skipped this cycle, and it's gonna then take place when the next one is coming up. But about that then later on at some point, maybe in April or May, we'll be having a look at that. VIX is also in its lowest still. Nothing has happened here, so this trend line still holds. And technically S&P 500 is very positive. Yeah, as we can see, we had another chance to buy at the support on Wednesday. If you look at the weekly chart, then yes, the market has been very overextended. So what we do suspect that at some point it has to give, but when it's going to happen, it's hard to tell. so far so good. Yeah, we might have some shorter term corrections coming in, but if it's gonna be a major turning point, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, obviously. Yeah. And Russel 2000 was very positive as well last week, so it's now touching that resistance line here. So if it's gonna break through that, then we have some more upside to go. But if it's gonna be a heavy resistance, then yeah, we might have a downturn. We have seen quite a lot of support forming here as well, so that's obviously a good sign. And yeah, small caps should do quite well this year as well, as the focus might shift from large caps to small caps as well. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, small caps will do better when the interest are going to be dropping, but if the interest drops are going to take place too late, then we might have a problem on the market. Yeah, so obviously the timing from Fed side is quite important as well. Now, sector performance, utilities was the best last week, and consumer cyclical was the worst. Yeah, and if you look at the heat map, then we can see that the major players did decline quite a bit. So Apple was one of the first ones, and Tesla obviously as well declined more than 13%. And Google, Amazon, Microsoft were also on negative side. Meta was slightly positive, and Nvidia obviously kept growing. Now, if you look at what the insiders have been doing, then okay, yeah, there's been quite heavy selling, and this selling has obviously continued, as we have pointed out already for quite many weeks. Yeah, it's been on rise, and yeah, I believe this obviously shows us something what is going on. If you look at the numbers, then companies that have had largest number of insider trades during the past 60 days, then here we can see, for example, CRM, which is Salesforce, Meta, obviously Airbnb, and also Coinbase. But as I have pointed out previously, it's hard to tell why they're selling, so it might be just profit taking. It doesn't necessarily mean that the company is doing not so well. I think it's probably more important to look at companies whose insiders are buying. Yeah, so maybe that's something to follow. But yeah, obviously I haven't done any homework here, so I can't give any recommendations either. But yeah, obviously that's important to see what is going on there. Now, highest dollar value Amazon has been one of the largest ones, so Bezos is selling quite heavily, and also Walmart. Insiders have been selling quite a lot there. Yeah. Now, if you look at the Magnificent Seven insider behavior there, then yes, this is on a timeline now for about 12 years here of data, and on 22 we did see Elon Musk selling quite a bit because he was after Twitter then back then. But now we have seen insiders picking up, and why it is happening, obviously, yes, as mentioned, Amazon's Bezos, and also Meta, Zuckerberg is selling there quite heavily, so that's why it's been on a rise. Fear and greed index now declined a bit to greed only, not so much extreme anymore. And it still stays on that elevated level here, though. If you look at the crypto fear and greed index, then that is now on extreme greed still, and it's been so for quite some time. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of going on, and Bitcoin keeps rising still. So let's see how long it's gonna last. Seasonally, stock market, yeah, we did expect some declines there, and we have seen some stocks weakening at this time as well. So it's kind of holding, but indices like S&P 500 obviously hasn't really given any signs of weakness there. So quite possible that we will see another leg up for some more companies as well when this cycle is going to turn, on the second half of March. And statistically, yes, we are in this very shaky period at the moment, but it's gonna improve in the end of March, and obviously April has been seasonally very positive as well in most cases. Now, astrologically, there's not much going on. There's quite a lot of Pisces energy, and Venus is moving to Pisces today, Monday, and on Sunday we have Sun conjunct Neptune. So we might have some more positivity coming into market later on this week as well, so we'll keep an eye on it obviously. And if you look at the black box model, then last week, as it turned out, we did see basically a decline there in the beginning of the week and then a rise again on the second half of the week, so that was quite accurate. Now, if you look at what this week might bring, then we have quite positive Monday, possibly Tuesday, then Wednesday we have a low, and second half of the week is fairly positive again. So let's keep an eye how well this indicator is obviously behaving, but so far so good. Now, what to expect next week? We will see some inflation data, which is very important because the week after next week we will have a Fed meeting again. So they are keeping an eye on those numbers, and we will be keeping an eye as well. It is a blackout period for Fed, so it's fairly slow week from their side. And now we will get some retail earnings there. Dollar Tree, Dollar General and Kohl's are scheduled to announce their earnings, and also Adobe is coming up with their numbers. So that's something to keep an eye. There are some other names as well, like Lennar Corp and what else is there? Let me see, Oracle today, for example, and Thursday will be the most important day, I believe, this week. And there's something to keep an eye as well. So my cyclical predictive model here is coming up with that sort of price pattern for this week. So if it's going to hold, then we should see a low either on Tuesday night or early Wednesday, and then the market should start going up. Let's see how it's going to play out. Sometimes those cycles might be inverted, so maybe that low is the high instead, but obviously we have to follow the price and see how the price behaves. But so obviously let's see next week how well it played out. Now, another stock that we have been following cyclically has been Willis Towers Watson, and it has now formed that support there, and basically we are expecting that the stock might start declining soon. Now, if it's gonna happen or not, obviously that's something we need to follow now. But cyclically, yes, we are in this decline zone now, at least until the basically end of month. All right. Now, let's have a look at some turning points as well here. So S&P 500, we will have another turning point coming up on Tuesday, and the next one is coming out on Friday, 15th. If you look at the gold market, then this market did turn quite heavily from the last turning point, which was from Thursday the 29th. And it's been moving up parabolically very heavily since then. Now the next turning point for gold is on Thursday, the 14th. So let's see how it's gonna act from there on as well. If you look at Bitcoin, it's been on it's been moving up and away. So those turning points have the price has reacted a bit, but uptrend has continued so far. Yeah, so and seems that the last one that we had now yesterday on Sunday, it did fuel up some more interest in Bitcoin as well. So it's been now today moving quite heavily to the upside again. All right, now let's have a look at some companies as well that we have been following. So Apple I did mention already. So basically, if we look at the price movement, we are now reaching that first support there, and there's been a sign of quite oversold territory already. So we'll see if it's gonna now bounce from this area. So that's something to keep an eye on. But if you look at short term, then yes, we have some divergence forming here as well. So that's a good sign, obviously, against that support line. Now short term is still very negative. So yeah, until we get some more signs that it might turn, then yeah, we're not gonna obviously position to the upside yet, but yeah, it's a good sign that we might be forming this support here. If you look at the Amazon stock, then there is one unfilled gap still, yeah, obviously, but how high it's gonna go, again, very hard to tell. So if we measured it by ABC pattern, then let's see how it's gonna play out here. So from here to here, well, we are almost complete now with ABC. So is this market gonna turn, or is this ABC gonna be longer from this low here? Then we might still have some upside to go, obviously. So yeah, we will follow that market as well. So maybe it's gonna have some more upside to the 183 area. Yeah? Okay, but again, if you look at indicators here, we did get that divergence indicator coming into play already, and yeah, it's been forming for quite some time already, and there is some resistance also forming for Amazon. So something to be cautious about already, but short term it's still very positive. Yeah? Now looking at Google, Google stock is obviously now on decline. So if you look at the short term channel what we had here, so it has broken out from this one already, I believe. Yeah, so and therefore I do suspect that this stock might it might bounce back a bit, but the rise for now might be over. Okay, and yeah, there's been quite a lot of resistance forming already in that time, and short term it's also quite negative already. Yeah? Looking at Meta, Meta is obviously there are so many unfilled gaps in this this chart here. So one of them was here, one of them is here, and one of them is here. Yeah, so if it's gonna go lower, yeah, then obviously there's quite big downside movement ahead, then yeah, at levels of around 150. Yeah, but those gaps tend to fill from time to time. Obviously, the one that we had in beginning of 22, that was now filled last summer, so it took about 18 months to fill. But in prior times as well, those gaps always have been filling. So obviously something to keep an eye on. Yes. So for example, this gap that we had in 2019, that did obviously fill with the COVID decline there. So yeah, something to obviously be aware of. It might not go up indefinitely. Yeah. So it might start closing those gaps. So first one to be aware of is this one here in the area of 450 to 405. Yeah. Okay. Now if you look at divergence, there is divergence forming. So that's something to be aware of as well. But short term is still very positive. Yeah. Looking at Microsoft now. With Microsoft, we have seen also this ABCD pattern forming. One of them is now almost complete, to be honest. So if we draw this line from here to here and compare it then from here to here, yeah, so it's almost complete. There is still some quite a small bit of upside potential until 430. But if it's gonna be a bit longer move from let's say this low that we had from here, then yeah, obviously there might be still some more room to grow up until 460. Yeah, so these are the levels that I'm keeping an eye on. Okay, but again, well, yeah, there is no good divergence, but there is a resistance. Obviously it's moving in that channel now. What else we have here? And short term it's still positive. Okay, so that's obviously a good sign, but it's showing some weakness already. Netflix has been moving also very strongly to the upside, but there is another cap to be aware of. Yeah, so possibly we will see some downside movement there, and there is obviously divergence forming as well. So again, a bit cautious now already. Those divergences might not obviously hold. If they're going to be broken, then there might be a lot of upside movement, so it's going to be a good sign. But if it's going to hold, and this resistance here as well, then obviously we might have now turning point ahead of us. Yeah. If you look at NVIDIA, then this parabolic move, obviously it's hard to really chart even, but there are some gaps as well in this chart as well, so something to be cautious about, but so far so good. Yeah, divergence is forming now. Yeah, so it might not happen right now, but it is there, and as we did see quite heavy decline on Friday, it was one of the biggest declines in recent months, so might be something to be cautious about. But yeah, technically short term it's still very positive here. Yeah, and Tesla, let's have a look what's going on with that one. So what I have seen, so short term there is an upside channel, yeah, and that was now broken, which we did suspect, and it did move to the downside. But on a bigger picture we have a downtrend obviously forming here, and downward channel, which tends to be bullish pattern. Now if you look at support lines here, I suspect that this support that's forming and also this trend line, once they meet here at around 166, 167 level, somewhere there, then we might have a turning point coming up and we might be heading to the upside. Now if it's going to break through and out of that channel, it's hard to tell, but there will be a resistance somewhere around 230, 235 level. Yeah, we'll see how it's going to play out, but yeah, this is the short-term pattern. But if it's going to break out from that channel, then those downward channels tend to be bullish. So that's obviously something to keep an eye on as well. Now if you look at the short-term patterns, is still very negative, but there is divergence, so yeah, it might be turning soon. And looking at PayPal, PayPal is in that downward channel, and it's been forming for quite some time already. Obviously that is a bullish sign, but if it's gonna break out now soon enough or not, obviously market is expecting that, but I do suspect that there is still another leg to the downside forming here until it's gonna obviously improve itself. Yeah, and if it's gonna break out from here, then yeah, it might be a bullish one, but yeah, at the moment to be cautious about, because it's been very negative in the past, and that basically 200-day moving average that market is following very closely. is holding still, yeah, so it hasn't broken through that either, yeah. So if I look at that, oops, 1 second, let's do that, yeah. So it is holding here as well, yeah. Yeah, but until it's gonna break out from here, I'm still negative about PayPal, but I'll be keeping an eye on it, yeah, very closely. All right, so that's about it, I think, for this week. A busy week ahead. Inflation numbers are the ones to follow, and we'll see how it's gonna play out then by the end. And I'll thank you for staying with me till the end. So if you do like this episode, then please click and like, yeah, smash that like button, and also share this video with others. That's very important as well. So thank you very much, and happy trading.